Welcome everyone to Inspecialist Training channel. I am Omar Farouk and today we are going to talk about the valves. So let's start.
Welcome again. We will divide this video into 4 sections. Section number 1 is what are the valve's main parts? Section number 2 is what are the valve connection types? Section number 3 is what are the valve's classifications? And section number 4 is what are the valve's types? Firstly, what is the valve? The valve is a device for controlling the passage of liquid or gas through a pipe or equipment nozzles. Section number 1 is the main parts. The valve is consisting of 5 main parts. Number 1 is the body. The body is the primary pressure boundary of a valve. It serves as the principal element of a valve assembly because it is the framework that holds everything together. Number 2 is the bonnet. The bonnet is the valve body closure component that contains an opening for the stem. Number 3 is the trim. The trim is the internal elements of a valve. The trim typically includes the disc, the seat, and the stem. The disc. The disc is the part of the valve which is positioned in the flow stream to permit or obstruct the flow. The seat is the portion of the valve against which the closure member presses to effect shut-off. And the stem, the part which connects the actuator and disc, and it's responsible for positioning the disc. Number 4 is the actuator. The actuator is a device that operates a valve by utilizing electricity, pneumatics, hydraulics, or a combination of one or more of these energies. Number 5 is the backing, which is a material that prevents leakage from the space between the stem and the bonnet. Section number 2 is what are the valve connections types? The valves could be connected in 3 ways. Number 1 is the flange connected valves. Number 2 is the welded connection valves. And number 3 is the threading connection valves. The welded valves could be socket welded or butt welded. And the threading valves could be tapered threading or parallel threading. Section number 3 is the valve classifications. Valves are classified according to the fluid pressure, or according to the operating type, or according to the function. According to the fluid pressure, there are 2 types of these classifications. Number 1 is the high pressure valve, which is holding a fluid pressure more than 2000 psi, like gate valves, plug valves, and ball valves. Number 2 is the medium and low pressure, which is holding a fluid pressure equal to or lower than 2000 psi, like gate valves, ball valves, butterfly valves, and check valves. According to the opening type, number 1 is the manual valve, which is the opening and closing of the valve is fully controlled by a human. Number 2 is the self-actuated valve, which is the opening and the closing of the valve is remotely controlled, and this type of valve is required for quick shut-off action at any abnormal condition. And according to the function, there are 3 types. Number 1 is the shut-off valve. The shut-off valves are used to start or stop the flow of the medium through the process, like gate, plug, pole, and pressure relief valves. Number 2 is the throttling valves. The throttling valves are used to regulate the flow, temperature, or pressure of the surface. These valves can move to any position within the stroke of the valve and hold that position, including the full open and full closed positions. Therefore, they can act as on-off valves also, like pressure regulators and control valves. Number 3 is the non-return valve. The non-return valves allow the fluid to flow only in one desired direction. Any flow in the opposite direction is mechanically restricted from occurring, like check valves. Section number 4 is what are the main types of valves? Number 1 is the gate valves. A gate valve consists of a body that contains a gate that interrupts the flow. This type of valve is normally used in a fully open or fully closed position. Gate valves are generally used in systems where low flow resistance for a fully open valve is desired, and there is no need to throttle the flow. The advantages of gate valves are: number one, it has good shut-off characteristics. Number two, the pressure loss through the valve is minimal. The disadvantages of gate valves are: number one, it's not suitable for throttling applications. Number two, it is prone to vibration in the partially open state. Number three, it's more subject to seat and desk wear than a globe valve. And number four, repairs such as lapping and grinding are generally more difficult to accomplish. Number two is the globe valve. A globe valve, which is commonly used to regulate fluid flow, consists of a valve body that contains a circular disc that moves parallel to the disc axis and contacts the seat. The stream flows upward generally and then changes direction to flow through the body to the outlet disc. The advantages of globe valves are: number one, good shut-off capability. Number two, moderate to good throttling capability. Number three, shorter stroke compared to gate valve. Number four, available in T, Y, and angle patterns, each offering unique capabilities. And number five, it's easy to machine or resurface the seats. The disadvantages of globe valves are: number one, higher pressure drop compared to gate valve. And number two, requires greater force or a larger actuator to seat the valve with a pressure under the seat. Number three is the ball valve. The ball valve is considered one quarter turn valve. Ball valves usually function as block valves to close off flow. They are well suited for conditions that require quick on-off or bubble-tight service. The advantages of ball valves are: number one, quick to open and close. Number two, it's smaller in size than a gate valve. Number three, several designs of ball valves offer the flexibility of selection. Number four, high quality ball valves provide reliable service in high pressure and high temperature applications. And number five, force required to actuate the valve is smaller than required for a gate or a globe valve. The disadvantages of ball valves are: the ball valves has a poor throttling characteristics, and if it's used in a throttling position, the partially exposed seat rapidly erodes because of the high velocity of flow. Number four is the butterfly valve. A butterfly valve consists of a disc mounted on a stem in the flow path within the valve body. A one-quarter turn of the stem changes the valve from fully closed to completely open. Butterfly valves are most often used in low-pressure services for coarse flow control. The advantages of butterfly valves are: number one, it requires less space compared to gate, globe, or other valves. Number two, light in weight. Number three, quick acting as a quarter turn valve. It requires less time to open or close. Number four, it's available in large sizes ranging from 1.5 MPS to 200 MPS. And number five is it has low pressure drop and high pressure recovery. The disadvantages are: number one, throttling service is limited to low differential pressure. Number two, cavitation and choked flow are two potential concerns. And number three, the desk movement is unguided and affected by flow turbulence. Number five is the check valve. Check valves are designed to prevent the reversal of flow in a piping system. These valves are activated by the flowing material in the pipeline. The pressure of the fluid passing through the system opens the valve, while any reversal of flow will close the valve. Closure is accomplished by the weight of the check mechanism, by back pressure, by a spring, or by a combination of these means. The advantages of the check valve: number one, it's self-actuated and requires no external means to actuate the valve, either to open or close. Number 2, it's fast acting. Number 3, it allows flow in one direction only. And number 4 is pressure drop is very low. The disadvantages are, since all moving parts are enclosed, it's difficult to determine whether the valve is open or closed. Furthermore, the condition of the internal parts cannot be assessed. Number 2, each type of check valve has limitation on its installation configurations. And number 3 is the valve disc can stick in an open position. Thank you everyone for watching, and don't forget to subscribe and activate the alarm button to see the next videos.